Welcome to Focus on the Five, conversations with Baldwin County business leaders and entrepreneurs, brought to you by Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. And now, Josh Knoll.
Hi everyone, welcome to Focus on the Five, conversations with Baldwin County, Alabama area entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm your host, Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. We are coming to you today from the studios of WABF 1480, located here in beautiful downtown Fairhope, Alabama. So where's the beef? Well, guess what? It's right here in Baldwin County. My guest today works hand in hand with her father and her family to keep their local meat business thriving and growing for over 44 years. So let's give a big welcome to Miss Erin Childress Salyers.
You got it.
Farm Fresh Meats. Erin, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. This is cool, a first time experience for me.
Well, you're a TV star. Now we're going to make you a radio star.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so Erin, for the listeners that are not familiar with you or Farm Fresh Meats, describe what y'all do and who you are.
Okay. Well, my name is Erin Childress Salyers. I am third generation in my family's business, Farm Fresh Meats in Robertsdale, Alabama. My granddad actually started the business in late 1976, and then my dad quickly took over when he was 17 years old in the same year, 1976. And so my dad has really been the head of Farm Fresh Meats along with my Aunt Holly. Various other members of my family have definitely worked there throughout the existence of Farm Fresh, and now it's my turn. So here I am, third generation, and I have my brother and my husband Adam and his brother, and my Aunt Holly is still there. So we are a full-fledged family business for sure.
Well, I want to do a quick shout out and then we're going to talk about your business. You were actually one of my first guests when we first started this show, Focus on the Five. And I've always wanted to thank you because without some of you all coming on in the beginning, we would never made it to this point.
Well, I mean, I just feel honored to be showcased like this. It's nice to be able to talk about what my family has accomplished, and you're helping me do something great too.
Well, thanks for taking a chance about a year ago, believe it or not.
Absolutely.
All right, so Farm Fresh Meats has changed a little bit over the years.
Oh,
Describe
man.
how it's, when your dad took it over, what was the business like? What's it like now?
So, to back up a little bit, my dad grew up on a 1,000-head dairy farm in Loxley. That was what the Childress family did. We were dairy cow people. We milked cows all day long, all night long. That was their business. And so my granddad saw an opportunity to actually take it a step further and go into the meat side of it. The building that Farm Fresh Meats is now was actually once called the locker plant.
Okay.
The stockyard was behind the locker plant. And what the locker plant was basically just an area where beef and hog were slaughtered and people could purchase a side, a front quarter, a hind quarter, whatever they wanted, and they had their own personal locker. And they could keep their meat in their own locker. So that was the locker plant. My granddad got the opportunity to buy the building and recruited my dad into the business as well, and so it became more of a retail market, which we are now, Farm Fresh Meats. They did quit slaughtering somewhere around 25 years ago, so we have not done that for a while, but we still do break down whole animals. We do all of the aging of the beef and the pork and stuff like that there. We make about 25 different types of sausage in-house. We make our own bacon. We are, for the lack of a better term, a legitimate old-fashioned butcher shop.
Right. On a large scale.
On a big scale, yes. We have a pretty nice retail market.
Well, I know family is very important to you, so we want to make sure we give a shout out to all the family members.
Absolutely,
so what family members work with you and what's that mean to you?
Well, just to say, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be where we are today. So I've got my brother, he helps me out in the retail immensely. Adam is my husband, and he is head butcher there. His brother John is the head of our sausage making. He's the one that actually stuffs and pumps the sausage while my Aunt Holly hangs it. Everybody has a really particular role at Farm Fresh, and each person that's there really makes a huge difference in the business, and there's no way we could operate without them.
Love it. So y'all, 25 years ago plus, you all got the meat from stockyards, right behind the building, more or less, right? So quite a bit different environment than what you'd walk into now.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different. It's really, really difficult to find actual full-blown slaughterhouse and processing plants in our area anymore. There are a million different regulations that the USDA and the FDA require. Not that that's wrong, but for small family businesses like myself, it's better for us to operate a retail market where we can have one-on-one communication with our customers. We can educate them on where their beef and their pork and their chicken is coming from. We like to give people information about what it is that we've created that they're going to be eating. So it's a lot different than going to just a regular grocery store and buying something that is prepackaged off the shelf.
Well, where do you all get your meat?
Well, it depends on what kind of meat we're talking about. All of our beef is actually sourced out of the Midwest. So we've done our research, we've been doing this for a really long time. That is where you find the best beef, in my opinion, for the right price for our demographic in this area. We carry all choice grade or prime grade beef. We're looking at maybe doing some Wagyu and stuff like that too, but you have to really advertise to the right person that wants to pay for a Wagyu steak. We also get our chicken, that comes out of Montgomery. That's fresh chicken, never frozen, really, really good, farm raised. All of our pork is a #1 premium pork product. That comes from different places, but most of the pork that we deal with comes from Bow Farms, which is right over the state line in Moselle, Mississippi. And we do get whole hogs in each and every week, so we still are very true to that word butcher. We break down whole animals regularly.
Well, I think it's fair to say that you all put a lot of care and effort into where the animals come from, how they're
Yes,
treated.
absolutely.
Right.
And that's important to me. And it may not have been something that was so important back in my grandfather's day,
Sure.
but I'm a huge animal lover. And believe it or not, I really enjoy the business that I'm in because I know where the animals are coming from. They're being treated as fairly as I know they can be treated possibly.
Love it. All right, so is there any particular meat that you're best known for? I know that kind of a little
Yes.
broad, but
So we are sausage makers.
all right.
That is what Farm Fresh Meats is. The thing that I guess people would be able to recognize us the most with is our German sausage that we make. So we make the famous Alberta German sausage for Alberta for the festival twice a year. On top of that, we make, like I said earlier, about 25 different types of sausage in-house, some fresh, some smoked. We also make beautiful bacon, Josh. Our bellies come from a place called White Marble Farms, and we do a dry rub, dry cure on the bellies, let them soak for between 7 to 10 days, and then smoke them in our smokehouse, probably somewhere around 20 to 40 bellies at a time, depending on the time of year, and then we put a whole slab of bacon on our slicer and cut it to whatever your thickness preference is. So you don't have to deal with just whatever you're going to get prepackaged at the grocery store, whether it be too thin, too thick, whatever. We can get you a leaner belly, a fattier belly. We can cut it for grilling, whatever you want.
I wasn't even hungry. I've had lunch and now I'm hungry again. So, all right, so a lot of people, the people that have not been to your store, when they think of a butcher shop, I don't think they're envisioning Farm Fresh Meats.
I don't think so either.
So walk the listeners a little bit what they see when they walk in the door.
Well, one of my main goals since I've been there, it's been a little over 3 years since I've been here taking over the family business, and I want people to see history. I want them to see things on the wall that you are like, oh wow, look, that was Erin's granddad and grandmother. There's her dad over there standing by a whole slew of pigs and cows that they just brought in, and so you see lots of that stuff on the walls. Then you see big meat cases, a pork and poultry case, a sausage case, a beef case, all of which has fresh cut ingredients that we do every day, all throughout the day. Our ground beef and our ground chuck, we grind that stuff fresh out of whole choice shoulder clods, boneless shoulders, fresh every day, all throughout the day, depending on the day that it is. We do fresh grinds like turkey and chicken, lamb, goat, you name it,
You
we
name
can
it.
do it.
All right, so on that, you and I have talked about this before. This is a two-part question. Is there a craftsmanship that goes into handling all this?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to care about what you're doing, number one. You want to make sure, especially for a small business like Farm Fresh Meats, people are all about convenience nowadays. So they see themselves going to the grocery store, making it a one-stop shop. Well, our job is to make sure that people want to come to Farm Fresh to get their protein products. We don't have seafood, we don't have produce, so we have to make sure that the meat that we handle and that we make is a premium product to draw those people in. So yes, there is a craftsmanship. Adam, who is the head butcher, my husband now, has been training under my dad for 3 years and just gets better and better every day.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, it's great to still see him there because he gets to walk out and talk with all of his customers
Old
that he's had for 40 plus years, and it's nice for him too to be able to take a back seat and see the third generation really perfecting what he has done for so long and taking it to the next level.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but people can walk in during the day and pick up a sandwich?
They can, yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. We do barbecue sandwiches, beef or pork, every day of the week. And then on Fridays and Saturdays, we actually smoke all types of different meats. So we'll have whole smoked chickens, chicken wings. We do ribs, Boston butts, beef roast, briskets. We started this new Cajun butter injected smoked turkey breast that's amazing.
Sounds delicious.
Smoked prime rib. We're running out of space for all the stuff that we're doing.
You have to expand.
Yeah.
All right, so on the reverse side of that, from craftsmanship, what are some do's and don'ts when it comes to meat?
Oh man, well there are a lot of don'ts if you would ask the USDA and the FDA and the health department, and we definitely stay true to everything that they don't want us to do. Don't freeze your meat if you don't have to. I understand that people like to buy packages to stock their freezer for their family, and we can help with that and make sure that it's packaged properly so it lasts long. But we don't ever buy anything that has been pre-frozen. It naturally is going to affect the flavor. It's not going to be as good. And then going back to care about what you're doing. When it comes to beef, you really want your beef to have, in my opinion, a minimum of 30 days age on it. Age really adds to everything breaking down as far as the intermuscular marbling in the meat, so that you have a really tender cut of steak or a really juicy fresh ground hamburger patty. Age is key when it comes to beef, for sure.
Well, all right, speaking of age and meat spoiling, big part of your business is wild game processing.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you take a listener through all that?
Oh my gosh.
We got some hunters that pay attention to the show.
Yeah, deer processing is definitely one of the biggest things that happens at Farm Fresh Meat. So November through, I guess, March, we are all at work every single day, even on days that we are closed, which is Sunday. That's the only day that we're closed, because we do such a high volume of deer processing. Last year, we estimated that we did somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 individual deer that we processed. We also process wild hog. We have a lot of people that travel out of state that go and get moose, elk, alligator, bear, all kinds of different things. If you have the licensing, then we can turn it into pretty much whatever you want out of it. But yeah, so the way that we accept people's deer meat is it has to come to us in an ice chest. It already has to be fully cleaned. So since we are so busy and we're not just wild game processors, we also have the retail market. We do wholesale as well. We have to have super duper clean meat in our facility before we can start processing it. So that is something that I find really valuable for this show. And if you are a deer hunter and you're listening, please bring us clean meat, i.e. no hair, no dirt, no anything that you wouldn't want to ingest on your meat, because people don't realize we have a station that's about as big as this table right here. 2 guys that are all day long breaking down animals. And if they have a really dirty piece of meat that touches their station, then they have to stop what they're doing, fully re-sanitize everything. Not to mention, we use our table saw or our bandsaw a lot. And if somebody has really gross meat, or it's been shot up, or it has bullet fragments in it, that could potentially harm our equipment or just get it really dirty, and we have to slow down and start over. And so that's a valuable thing for people to know. If you're gonna bring your meat to Farm Fresh Meats, it has to be clean.
Understood. Well, my mom would be no good to you because she likes to kill deer with her car.
Oh, really? Well, we have quite a few of those too that come in.
Hers would come in with plastic bumper attached to it.
I'm gonna tell you what, Josh, I've seen it all. We get people that bring us whole carcasses that they literally have just ran over. Hey, can you do something with this? No, I can't. I would love to if you would take it home and clean it and act like a normal person. But,
no possum, please.
No,
You're right.
No, not at Farm Fresh.
There you go. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break for station identification. For those of you just joining us on WABF 1480 AM, this is Focus on the 5, conversations with Baldwin County, Alabama area entrepreneurs and business leaders. I'm your host, Josh Knoll, and the voice you're hearing today is Erin Childress, Salyers of Farm Fresh Meats. All right, so Erin, I want to dive into your role at the company. And I want to preface this by saying my understanding historically of the meat production market doesn't necessarily lead me to think of something that would heavily involve women. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely.
But you've obviously bucked the trend. So would you talk about the process of how you fit into the industry, breaking down beef and pork, and how it's not just a job for dudes?
Mm-hmm. I was blessed to be born into this business and to be born a food lover. I love to be able to talk about meat and the stuff that we make to our customers all day long because I have a true passion for it. It's something that I really, really enjoy. So first of all, I'm lucky that I enjoy what I do. Second of all, I think that it's awesome to be a woman, to have a big butcher cleaver in my hand, to have my bandana on top of my head and my apron on, and I can show a guy a thing or two with a knife. I think that's impressive to a lot of people, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it's something that has done a lot for the business. People are kind of shocked when they come in and they see that the blonde in the corner can cut a better steak than the guy over there that you think would be the one cutting your steak.
Well, it's earned you a nickname, right?
It has.
What's your nickname?
The Butcher's Daughter.
That's right.
That is my name. And since we talked, I actually found out some bad news.
Uh-oh.
There's a place in New York called the Butcher's Daughter.
Is it really?
But it's a vegan
come
woman
on.
who has a vegan smoothie type style place. And I'm like, why can't you just let me have that name? Just let me trademark that, come on.
Well,
So I'm going to take that and I'm going to do a little spin on it so that way it is actually my own. But I was really sad when I found out that she's taken the Butcher's Daughter and she's not even got anything to do with meat.
Well, for the listeners not familiar with what your hopes and dreams were with the Butcher's Daughter, fill them in real quick.
Okay, so on top of loving what my family business is, I thoroughly enjoy cooking too. That is something that really, really deep down is my passion. Since I was 9 years old, my best friend Hannah introduced me to Iron Chef Japan on Food Network, and that was like a really pivotal moment in my life. I was like, man, this is really cool what these Japanese and Chinese and all type of different chefs are doing. And then from there it just spiraled. I went to college and graduated in restaurant and hospitality management, and so then I ran a restaurant for close to 8 years before coming home to take over the family business, and I miss it.
Okay.
Not so much the restaurant hours and
Sure.
things like that, but I want to be able to have a place, and I want it to be a small place, but something that puts out exceptional meals and really only have 2 or 3 things on the menu at a time, so that way you know that they're done properly. And it would be really cool if I could attach that to another butcher shop, maybe here in Fairhope, and call it the Butcher's Daughter or a spin-off on that, and have really nice, fresh beef, pork, poultry, our sausage, bacon, of course. And it would be neat for people to be able to pick out their beef in the case, to the room adjoining the restaurant. It's just a unique concept that you don't see in this area, and I would like to be a part of it.
Well, I have one request. Can you put a sign on the door that says no vegans allowed?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I could even put a plaque on one of the seats that says Josh Knoll sits here.
There you go. This is where I eat my meat.
Yeah.
Well, what as someone in an industry historically that you're you're coming in, bucking the trend a little bit, what do you feel has helped you the most as a young business owner, working with family, getting that ahead?
Getting myself out there. The retail market has done great on its own for the last 40 some odd years, but again, like I said earlier, we have to keep people wanting to come back. And so by making myself known on TV, on radio, on podcasts, it has helped the retail market immensely. And I also change things up on a weekly basis. So you'll see something new at Farm Fresh every single weekend. I like people wondering what's going to be happening this weekend. Like, for example, I went on Channel 10 a few months ago and I cooked pig wings. Have you ever heard of pig wings?
I have not. I didn't know pigs could fly.
Right. So that was what I actually opened up with on the show. I said, hey, have you ever heard that term, when pigs fly? And they're like, well, yes. And I said, of course you have. Everybody have. But spoiler alert to whoever came up with that quote, pigs actually do have wings,
Okay.
and they're delicious. Now, they're not actually pig wings. It's actually the shank of the hog, which is close to the hock area. It's by the foot. and the largest bone has been removed, and it's been trimmed down to look like a chicken wing.
Oh, dang.
But it's a pork wing, and those have really taken off, and it's something new. And people that like to throw parties or like to, show their friends different fun things, they can come get something like that from Farm Fresh. It's similar to a rib, but a lot meatier and really, really good.
That sounds
People
delicious.
haven't seen it.
Well, you mentioned the TV show. Tell people about your TV show.
Okay, so I go on Studio 10 the second Tuesday of every month. Now, Studio 10 is a lifestyle show that Fox 10 puts on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And I'm fortunate enough to be one of their cooking segments once a month. And so the second Tuesday of each month, I try to up myself each time and do something a little bit more unique. I'm really big on themes too. So, like for example, this last one that I did was 4th of July, and I had 4th of July stuff everywhere and a big hat on, and for my birthday I went all out, for the wedding I went all out and just did fun themed stuff that keeps the consumers engaged and wanting to see what you're going to do next.
You've been doing that now close to a year.
Over a year.
Because last time I had you on was when it was just getting started.
I'm into my second year now.
Isn't that incredible?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, time flies.
It's really, really fun, and I have such a good time going over there feeding everybody. I'll bring extra food just because I know how much the crew loves to come out and eat when I've got done cooking after the show's over. It's gotten to where sometimes, there's a line of 20 people, and that definitely makes me feel good.
Well, so you mentioned earlier that some of the marketing efforts you're seeing it pay off in the retail space. Have you had people come in from the show?
Yeah. You're the one I saw on TV this morning. That's the whole reason I'm here. I drove all the way from Pace, Florida because your bacon looked amazing. It's so cool. And I honestly didn't realize how many people were able to watch that show at 9 o'clock in the morning. But then again, we have it on every single day. While I'm at work, I get to watch Studio 10 because we have a TV out in our retail area, and I've gotten to the point now where I really enjoy watching it every day, so I can make sure that I'm not doing something that somebody else has already done, and I can one-up everybody.
Well, and I would think with the various platforms they have, it's more than just out on TV. That thing gets recycled around quite a bit.
Definitely, yeah. They have social media, of course, their Facebook, and they do little spots for us on that, and then everything is linked to their website.
If I can just get somebody to show up from out of town and say, I heard your 401k is just amazing.
That would definitely be a feat, I would say.
That would take a
maybe you should
bigger
try
nerd
going
than I
on
am.
the show. The show's awesome, and it's about the Gulf Coast and
That's
the
right.
5A.
Baldwin County, here we
Yeah.
come. Well, all right, so how do people find you? Where do they find you at?
Well, our physical location is in Robertsdale, Alabama. If you're familiar with the area, we are right on Highway 59 South in the corner of State Highway 104. If you're going south, a really good marker is there is a very big brick Regions Bank on your left. It's also where the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office is. We are directly across the street from that. 22057 State Highway 59 South is our address. Our website is farmfreshmeatsal.com, and of course we have Facebook too. That's where I do most of my updates and things like that, because nowadays people are glued to their phones.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just the @ Farm Fresh Meats.
Perfect. Any upcoming events?
Well, we do this little tiny thing called the Alberta German Sausage Festival twice a year.
How many people has that grown to?
Well, this past festival, Josh, we made 10,000 pounds for that one-day event. And if you think 4 links equals 1 pound, that's a lot of
And you ran out
sausage.
probably. Or
Well,
close to it?
we sell 6,000 pounds to the fire department for them to cook there themselves to disperse to the public.
Awesome.
And then we make another 4,000 pounds. We set up a tent and sell it for people to take home and cook, until they get to come to the next festival.
And that's coming up in October?
It's always the last Saturday of March and the last Saturday of October,
Got it.
every single year. And the Alberta Fire Department is really the people that are putting it on. It's not so much about Farm Fresh Meats. We are just fortunate enough to have been the business that has been making the sausage for them since 1979. So you asked about the growth earlier. In 1979, my dad's first order was for 200 pounds.
Now it's
And
10,000
now it's
pounds.
10,000.
And growing.
And growing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so on that note then, what's the future hold for Erin and Farm Fresh Meats?
I hope a lot. I really, really enjoy being able to carry on my family's legacy. My dad and my Aunt Holly and my granny and grandpa have put so much of their lives and so much blood, sweat, and tears into keeping this business alive, and it is a labor of love. It is not pretty every day. It's something that you really have to love what you're doing to stay in it. And I love everyone that I'm working with, and I'm so very fortunate to be able to have that on a day-to-day basis. So the future, I hope, is really bright. I hope that we're able to expand and open another location. I would really love to be able to do it here in Fairhope. I think this is the perfect area. Really, it's based on finding a few more key employees that I know can run the Robertsdale location while I, try to take on other things. So how long that takes, we'll see. I don't know. But I'm hoping something happens within the next couple of years.
Well, I
don't
have no
want to
doubt.
bite off more than I can chew.
I have no doubt whatever you put your mind to, you'll accomplish.
Thank you.
Well, anything else?
I really think that's it. You've had me here to feature my family, and that's really the main thing that I wanted to do, was let people know how much my family has done in the past to make this such a wonderful, the business that it is today, and how I'm going to do everything that I can to continue it on, until the next generation hopefully comes around and takes it over.
Well, we don't have news on that, do we?
No, I don't know if it'll be me, but maybe somebody. We'll see.
Well, I think Farm Fresh Meats is in great hands. So
Thank you.
all right. Well, that said, if you're a regular listener of the show, then you know that we also film our conversation and release it across multiple social media platforms. So I need two favors from you all. One, if you see Erin, make sure you let her know that you heard or saw her on this show, because that's cool. And two, if you know someone you think would be a good guest, or maybe you would like to come on with your business, reach out to me. My contact info will be at the end of the show. In closing, I want to thank my guest, Erin Childress Salyers of Farm Fresh Meats, for joining us today. I want to thank Miss Lori DeBose for always standing in the background and here and keeping us straight. And all of y'all out there listening, I am Josh Knoll with Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. This has been Focus on the Five. Thank you and have a great day. That's a wrap.
Yay!
Thank you for listening to Focus on the Five. If you are interested in learning more about Josh Knoll and Gulf Coast Financial Advisors, you can find us at gulfcoastfa.com, call 251-327-2124, email josh.knoll@gulfcoastfa.com, or message us on Facebook. Focus on the Five is produced by Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. Advisory services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Inc., a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Pro Equities Inc., a registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA and SIPC. Gulf Coast Financial Advisors is independent of Pro Equities Inc. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Focus on the Five offers commentary and generalized research, not personalized investment advice. Show content is for informational purposes only and does not constitute a complete description of our investment services or performance. All investments involve risk and, unless otherwise stated, are not guaranteed. Be sure to consult a tax professional before implementing any investment strategy.